Kahala Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, Bashem Rakal Kodash. Double honors to my teachers, the apostles, and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and mercy to the elect, who are the house of David reborn again in this generation. And Shalom to the one-third Yasharallah, who today are known as the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Indians, who before losing their true heritage were known as the Israelites of the Holy Bible. In today's lesson, we're going to talk about the false messiahs who have come in the name of so-called Jesus Christ to deceive the masses and who are still coming to this very day. Now, this came to my mind because of I seen this comic, and it was pretty funny because it tells the truth. How the world is going to be, the world has been deceived, and are not going to know what the Lord is truly going to look like when it tells you in Revelations 1 and 14. Which let's go and get that rule. Actually, let me get Revelations 1 and 13. And in the midst of the seven candlesticks, one like unto the Son of Man, meaning that's the Messiah, clothed in a garment down to the foot, and girt about the paps with a golden girdle. His head and his hairs were like wool, as white as snow, and his eyes were as a flame of fire. His feet like unto fine brass, as if they burnt in a furnace, and his voice as the sound of many waters. So you see, this is a more accurate depiction of the Lord, which a lot of people think it's a joke that we say that the Lord was a so-called black man, right? They believe that we're appropriating the image of the Lord by saying he was a so-called Negro. But little do they know that this is the truth, which is declared in the Bible, in the scripture that I just read to you. But it's all part of the Lord's plan that his image is removed from the minds of the heathens of the world and those who are unworthy to know it, because this is how he's going to condemn them. Now, he's also warned us to not be deceived by the false messiahs. Now, let's go ahead and read this. This is Matthew 24 and 4. And Yahushua answered and said unto them, Take heed that no man deceive you, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and shall deceive many. Right? And I went ahead and found this article, and it talks about the people since the 18th century who have claimed to have been so-called Jesus Christ in the reincarnation, and who have claimed to be the Messiah, and from their teachings they've deceived many people. And actually, I came across this article when I was doing that my past video about the Church of the Church of God, that Korean cult, you know. So, but when you go through this list, there's a lot of people who have claimed to be the Messiah. And the funny thing is that when you get into their teachings, they make up a lot of shit, and a lot of the things that they come up with can easily be dismissed or debunked if you only had the truth of the Bible and the scriptures, right? Because one thing is you would understand that the Lord is not going to come again in this world as a child. He's going to come back as a God, and he's going to come back from what you know as space, right? And these people here have all been born. You know, you have some famous people here. Unsung Hung is the guy that I told you about, who has that Korean cult. You have some other people. Jim Jones, you probably heard about him when he took a lot of his followers down to South America and basically made them all drink this poisonous juice because the police were basically going to bust them. Then you have other people, right? The Heaven's Gate guy, right, who basically killed or had his followers, the 39 people that were following him, commit mass suicides in their bunks down in San Diego. You had Charles Manson. He also claimed to be the Messiah. You also had this man, Yahweh ben Yahweh, right? And he was part of the within this understanding of the Hebrew Israelites, but he himself claimed to be the Messiah. Now, and this goes on, right? To this guy, Laszlo Toth, you know, let's see. You got this guy here, this Ammonite politician. You know, it's ridiculous, man. A lot of these people have deceived many, and because they're well spoken or they have a certain belief or in followers, that they're able to deceive a lot of people. You know, you had David Koresh, who was you probably heard about him from the Waco, Texas. They basically, you know, he was ultimately an Edomite, but again, these are just the people that have deceived the masses. You know, you got this guy here. This is Vice did a lesson on this guy. He's some Russian Edomite who has like this little compound where he has a bunch of followers who live there. And they put on a little theatrical show where he comes down in a white robe down this path, down this little hill, and he pretends to be you know, Jesus Christ. But you see, these are the people who have taken the Bible and have used it for their own purposes and power, and also for their gain, right? But one thing that the Bible tells us, that the Lord, he's going to come back from the space, like I told you, right, from the sky. This is told to us in Acts 1:11, which also said, ye men of Galilee. Actually, let me start up at 10. This is Acts 1:10. And while they looked steadfastly towards heaven as he went up, behold, two men stood by them in white apparel, which also said, ye men of Galilee, why stand ye gazing up into heaven? This same Yahushua, which is taken up from you into heaven, shall so come in like manner as ye have seen him go into heaven. You see, so that right there shows that the Lord is going to come back from heaven, right? And what we know as space, and with him is going to come what people know today as UFOs. But basically, he's going to come with the chariots of heaven, and this is explained in 2nd Ezra 13:3. And I beheld, and lo, that man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven. And when he turned his countenance to look, all the things trembled that were seen under him. And that man is Yahushua. That's this is the second coming of the Lord. And this talks about when he comes back, he's gonna basically destroy the armies of the world that have gathered in the Valley of Jehoshaphat, which we would know today as the Middle East, namely there around Jerusalem, which when you look at world news, you could see that that's actually what's happening right now. Just recently, the U.S. Announced that they're going to be sending, I think, like 14,000 or 1,400 troops to the Middle East to dissuade Iran from invading, I believe, Syria or Iraq, right? But this, let me go ahead and read on. And whensoever the voice went out of his mouth, all they burnt that heard his voice, like as the earth faileth when it filleth the fire. And after this I beheld, and lo, there was gathered together a multitude of men out of number from the four winds of heaven to subdue the man that came out of the sea. But I beheld, and lo, he had graven himself a great mountain and flew upon it. There you go. But I would have seen the region or place whereout the hills was graven, and I could not. So you see right here, the Lord, when he returns, there's going to be a huge army that's going to be gathered there in the valley of Jehoshaphat. That's the army here gathered from the four corners of heaven, right? That's what that refers to, or from the four winds of heaven. That's the armies of the world. Now, when it says here that the Lord graves himself a great mountain, that's actually referring to the large UFO or chariot that the Lord's going to be returning on. And also the UFO, as you can see here, that he's going to use to destroy these people, right? Let's get back to it. And lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, he neither lifted up his hand nor held sword, nor any instrument of war, but only I saw that he sent out of his mouth as it had been a blast of fire, and out of his lips a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempests. And they were all mixed together, the blast of fire, the flaming breath, and the great tempest, and fell with violence upon the multitude which was prepared to fight, and burned them up every one, so that on a sudden of an innumerable multitude nothing was to be perceived, but only dust and a smell of smoke. When I saw this, I was afraid. So you see that? So what that's talking about, it's not that the Lord is going to be sending beams out of his mouth, but it's that the UFO, it's actually sending out laser beams, and is going to be basically blowing the shit out of these military armies that have now gathered in the Middle East, which are going to try to fight against the Lord when he returns. But as you read in the Bible, there's going to be nothing left of them but smoke, and that's it. Right? There's going to be nothing left of these people but ashes and smoke. But that right there is how the Lord is actually returning. And the thing is that when people see him, the majority of the world is not going to even know who that is, because they haven't hearkened on to the teachings of the Bible. They haven't listened to the prophets of the Lord who have been telling the world, what the Lord truly looks like, right? There's going to be a lot of surprised people out there. But I just wanted to touch on that. So hopefully this video was edifying, Akim. Next time I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'Shem, Yahushai, Ba'Shem, Ruach HaKodesh. Double honors to my teachers, the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and mercy to the elect. Shalom.